There we go. Hi, and welcome to Final Fantasy Patch 5.5, the end of Shadowbringers. Let's take a look, double check that sound level. Let's take a look. Seems like it should be alright. Audio output capture. Right. Desktop audio should be the game audio. Mic, video capture device. Okay, cool. So this should be good. Yeah, so what I'll be doing is I'll be doing the story, I'll be doing the new raids. Oh, of course. Go back to my normal Right, okay. So you're probably going to be super confused if you have not played everything up to this point, but I will probably maybe get around to it at some point. Just so that you guys are filled in if you're interested, but yeah. I haven't played this in a while because this tends to be quite time consuming, quite grindy. And I don't want to be a streamer that essentially just do one game. So I am a little bit behind sort of gear level and grind wise. I never liked grinding per se, but yeah. Good news, Zachariah. Thancred and Urianger have finished their tour of Garlemald and are on their way back even as we speak. As we still haven't heard anything on the towers from the Alliance, I hope they might be able to shed some light on a few things. They're due to arrive any moment now, so let's see what they have to say, eh? Ah, a welcoming party. You needn't have gone to the trouble. From what I hear, you've been more than busy enough as it is. Honestly, you might have waited for me to return before discovering a cure for tempering. As it is, I can't even pretend to have been involved. Well, if it's any consolidation, I myself was little more than a spectator. The lion's share of the credit must go to Alize, Brahad, and Zachariah. But I believe I speak for the rest of us when I say we are proud to have been rendered what little assistance we could. As you will also have heard, though, it hasn't been all tales of triumph. Just as we were taking steps towards finally addressing the primal threat, a pile of fresh problems landed on our lap. Anyway, it's good to have you back, though I can't help noticing that we're one Urianger short of a scouting party. You haven't lost him, have you? Oh, I couldn't lose him even if I tried. And I did try, repeatedly, but no. He decided to linger in Alamigo to appraise Raban and the others of how the land lies in Garlemald. Then mayhap you would do the same for us? Indeed, it was just as Elise said. Worse, in fact, devastation as far as the eye could see. Nerva and the Third, however, were notable by their absence. Watch that over a little bit. Might have met their end at hand of Xenos and Fandaniel. Perhaps. Or perhaps they simply lost the will to fight. See, the capital has been plunged into a deathly silence, with one exception, the Imperial Palace. It was a busy place before the war, but has grown busier still, with throngs of soldiers and civilians working there day and night to rebuild, or rather, transform it. Transform it? Into what? That is a difficult question to answer. The construction is vast and unsettling to behold, like something from a nightmare. According to Urianger, certain aspects of its design were clearly devised with the manipulation of Aether in mind. Magitech, in other words. Yes, as unnerving as said edifice was, it was nothing next to the sight of the builders. They swarmed the place like so many insects working with nary a word exchanged between them. No one overseeing construction, no one barking orders. It's as if they were possessed or tempered. We wanted to investigate more closely, but given our suspicions, it seems wiser not to take the risk. I might have to be closer to the mic or turn down the music. If Vandaniel could bind Bahamut to his will, might he have done the same to the people of Garlemald? Whatever the truth may be, this information is certain to provide valuable. To prove valuable. You have our thanks. Well, be sure to save some for Urianger, which reminds me, I have a message from Alamiga. Raban is hosting a meeting to discuss the latest findings on the towers, and he requested our presence. Then why not leave that to us? You must be wary from your mission. No, I'm fine. Those towers have been on my mind since I first spied one on the way back, and I'm keen to get to the bottom of this. In that case, I shall stay and begin to look into another matter, as I promised Krill. We need not all attend. Very well. I suggest the rest of us make our way to Alamigo forthwith. The sooner we leave, the more time we have to speak with Urianger before the meeting. Okay, so the sound isn't too bad. Where is it? It was sound. That should be alright. Okay, right. Where am I going? So yeah, I do look like Green Arrow. There's always loads of people during patch. My friends, much and more have I heard of your travels in our absence. Heartened am I to see you all hale and whole. As are we to see you safely return from your mission, Urianger. I trust Thancred made you feel welcome. Well, well, if it isn't Alphinaud and his merry band. Arnvald, what are you doing here? When we spoke via Link Pearl, you told me you'd be away on a mission. And who's to say this isn't part of it? But enough about that. It's good to see you look so similar. I thought you'd grown a bit taller after a whole year in another world, but apparently not. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you. While my soul may be a year older, my body has hardly aged, as you are well aware. And may I remind you that we Elezen are known to be late bloomers, especially in terms of our height. Mark my words, the day will come when even a great Ordrock, such as yourself, will crane your neck to meet my eye. Aye, 'twas not until my 12th summer that I myself outgrew my boyish proportions, though Mulbrinda towered over me nonetheless. Of course, you do like an Amazon. Anvard bring out the best in Alphinaud, doesn't he? They both seem so at ease in each other's company. It's almost endearing. So, what exactly brings you here? Oh, for Dola, mostly. We need to go over a few things before we set out. Set out? Wait, does that have something to do with the towers? Yeah? What gave you that impression? Actually, tell me later. You've got a meeting to go to. I'll see you afterwards. Alright? If Fordola's going with him, that must mean... My apologies. As Arnvald rightly pointed out, we have a meeting to attend. Let us be about it. Hey, all the big wigs.
Ere we begin, I would like to offer my gratitude to Masters Thancred and Urianger. Tis no small feat to infiltrate the Imperial capital and live to tell the tale, much less in times of civil war. Thanks to them, we may plot our course in full knowledge of how the winds blow in Garlemald.
Whoops.
Full glad are we to have been of service. But verily, such dangers as we did encounter pale into insignificance next to those faced by our comrades. An Ascian, armed with the might of Bahamut, bent on bringing about the final days.
Theatrics. He sought only to make a show of the power at the Teleforoi's disposal. But since then we have seen no sign of this Fandaniel or his worm. And while we've done what we can to bolster our defenses, there's no telling where he might strike next.
Whenever and wherever it may be, we must use the intervening time to learn more of our enemy. 'Twas with this in mind that we dispatched scouts to investigate the towers.
Our advance party took longer than expected to return. And when they did, they tried to kill us. Luckily, I'd seen that sort of thing before, and we were able to restrain them before they did any harm. Then it was just a matter of letting the Porksies do their work.
Yeah, this is like way past spoilers. Yeah, this is
Are you saying they were tempered?
Once they'd come back to their senses, they told us everything they could. It seems that just as they were getting close to the tower, they heard an ear-splitting roar. And that was the last thing they remembered. But what worries me most is what they were saying right before they attacked. Glory be to Garlemald.
The Tempered have heretofore ever been thralls to primal entities. Yet these hapless souls were compelled to accept a nation as the object of their devotion. This calleth into question all that we know of the condition.
cool.
Would that the unsettling news ended there. Alas, there is more. Following the earlier reports of missing Amalja, we have learnt that other beast tribes have suffered similar losses.
Have you ordered the radiator controllers as well?
And we now have reason to believe that the abductions are connected to the appearance of the towers. Our scouts sighted black-garbed figures leading shackled Ixal in the direction of the tower in Dravania. The Temple Knights were able to intercept them before they could reach their destination, liberating the Ixal and apprehending their captors, each of whom was found to be equipped with Garlean arms and armor.
Okay.
So the Empire is the common thread.
With the support of Xenos, it seems likely that Fandaniel has rallied a faction of the splintered Garlean army to the banner of the Telophoroi.
Lord Hien reached the same conclusion when I shared our findings with Doma. The plan had been to march on
What do you mean?
Garlemald from the east and west in order to force a peace treaty. But the situation has changed. Dealing with the threat of the towers must come first. Given the nature of the enemy and the proven risk of tempering, I could think of few suitable candidates to aid in this task. But I am confident in my choice.
I'm pretty sure, like, radiators are fairly standard when it comes to, like, central heating. But I could be wrong.
What?
Hey.
Resistant to primal influence as they are, they can investigate the towers without fear of being turned.
Huh. I don't know jack
We're
about
glad
radiators.
to put our gifts to use, Commander.
Gifted or not, going behind enemy lines remains a perilous undertaking. But we must know more if we're to strike back at our foe. I'm counting on you.
If it would give us the upper hand, I'd do it 100 times over. We won't let you down.
That concludes the briefing. You two, make ready and join your escort.
Are you certain about this, Arenvold?
I am. Come on, let's talk outside.
Now that it's out in the open, I don't have to keep it under my proverbial hat anymore. Huh.
So you know, I've already gone through all the formalities at the Rising Stones. Made sure to inform Jamolver and Vmar at Ralga's Reach as well.
Arenvold, I admire your enthusiasm, but this is far more dangerous than anything you have done before.
You better not die. You probably
I know the
will,
risks. And I also know what's in store if we don't stop Fandaniel from carrying out his plan. With this power of mine, I can make a difference. If I stood idly by, I would regret it for the rest of my life.
And you, Fudola? Is this what you want?
What are you asking me for? It's not like I have any say in the matter.
Don't pretend. We both know Commander Aldin gave you a chance to refuse. And you didn't.
So the Empire's finished, is it? But that's what they're all saying. That the great and glorious Garlemald slit its own throat. And now, from out of its twitching carcass crawls the Telophoroi with bloody Xenos at its head!
You'll probably forget by the time you get to this expansion. But yeah, you're like 3 expansions off. But yeah, do what you need to.
I fought for Garlemald. Killed for Garlemald. What was I part of? I need to know. Whatever it is, I need to know.
Very well. If your hearts are set on this, I shall not stand in your way.
Like that bronus.
If you've finished with your touching display of camaraderie, I have a question. Which tower are you planning to investigate, exactly?
Well, the one in Girabani is said to be tightly guarded. It's patrol after patrol out there, apparently. We'd be spotted before we got anywhere near it. Which is why we've set our sights on the one in Paglthan instead. There shouldn't be anything like as many Imperials to worry about down there.
Even so, I doubt the local Amalja will look kindly on it if they catch you sneaking around in their territory.
Fordola and I had a chance to learn the lie of the land in our previous forays there. We might still find trouble, but at least we won't lose our way. Well, we'd best not keep them waiting any longer.
Mayhap when all of this is over, we could take another trip to Loxeld. I would have you know I've become a rather capable swimmer since our last visit.
Ha! I'll believe that when I see it. Though, to be fair, getting into deep water does seem to be a scion's lot in life. Take care, eh? It means a lot, you know. You coming with me.
I'll still owe you for saving my skin, don't I? Can't return the favour if I'm not there.
Are you gonna be a couple?
I dare say you'll get your chance before long. That Fandaniel sounds like a tricky customer. Too much for the likes of me, anyway. But we both know I'd just be another soldier if it weren't for my gift. And I need to be a damn sight more than that given what's coming. I realise I can't hold a candle to a hero like the Warrior of Light, or Alphino for that matter. He might look like he's 12, but he's seen more action than most people see in a lifetime.
It's true.
No, the fact is I'm nothing like them, and maybe I never will be. But I'll be damned if I don't try.
Yeah, you've got a good heart. You're a good man. You're halfway there.
They're counting on me. On us. So let's give it our all.
Well, you know, being a bomb-ass hero isn't for everyone. That and, you know, we're the main characters.
He does not want for conviction, that much is certain. So let us have faith in him. Him and Fordola both. While they see to the towers, I would attend to another task. Chasing down this lunar Bahamut.
Ah, bloody thing. Can you hear me? It's Tataru. I'm happy to say we've managed to find Estinian.
Nice. He's a bro.
And I'm sorry to say he went running off again the moment we told him about Bahamut.
Of course he did. Dragoon's gonna dragoon.
But he did mutter something about heading to Ishgard, so if you're quick, you might still be able to catch him.
Alright, teleport to Ishgard.
Even if we set out this instant, He may already have left by the time we arrive. Have her send the Bonanza to Ishgard. It may prove useful should we need to give chase.
Sounds good to me. Do it.
Gladly. I'll see to it as soon as Kryl and I get back to the Rising Stones. Good luck.
While you go off on your dragoon hunt, Urianger and I will return to headquarters. We have much to tell the others.
I wish you every success in your search for our elusive friend. May we all meet again ere long.
Dragon. The Estinian was bound for Ishgard. Whatever it is that brings him home, we must hope it will keep him there long enough for us to find him. Come, there's no time to lose. All present? Good. Let us split up and search for Estinian. Since we're relatively new to this place, Graha and I will look around the open spaces, squares and markets and whatnot. You and Zachariah can delve into the nooks and crannies. Very well. Let us reconvene at the airship landing later, with or without Estinian. Good luck. I think I shall begin at the Sky Steel Manufactory, so perhaps you could try the congregation? Lucia may well have heard the news of our friend's return. Congregation. One night. Very cool armor. Good morrow to you, Warrior of Light. Lord Imeric sent word that you will be attending the meeting in Alamigo, so I gather you have not come in search for him. To what, then, do we owe the pleasure of your visit? Looking for Estinian. I see. No, we were not aware Sir Estinian had returned to Ishgard, but as I expect you remember, he is wont to come and go as he pleases. Mayhap he came seeking an audience with Lord Imeric, only to find him absent. In any event, I'm afraid I cannot help you. Perhaps one of your companions have fared better. God, the music slaps. Is here, yeah? Yeah, figures.
No sign of him. Not that I've ever met him before, but the way Alphino goes on about him, I'm fairly sure I could pick him out in a crowd.
He's pretty distinct, yeah?
Speaking of which, it does seem awfully quiet. If the erstwhile Azure Dragoon had returned to Ishgard, would it not be a source of general excitement?
Was that? Oh,
First
when it
the
arrives.
Scion's Coinkeeper, and now you. I'm beginning to think these meetings are more than mere coincidence.
Misty boy.
Not that I'm complaining. It's been too long.
That's not Alphinae, by the way.
Too long?
I take it that's when your hive arrives.
You look an ilm taller and twice as rugged. It suits you, Alphino.
I'm his sister.
Quieter, though. Have you been giving him lessons on how to be the strong, silent type?
That's Alphinae's twin sister.
I am not Alphino! If the two of you are such firm friends, perhaps you should remember what he looks like. And what do you mean, rugged? Had my brother mentioned what an oaf you are, I'd never have bothered looking for you in the first place.
Right, Alize, calm down.
Estinian Wormblood, the Azure Dragoon. He who fought and felled the dread worm Nidhogg at the Warrior of Light.
Oh yeah, he's
side.
basically a history buff.
To think the day would come when I should see this living legend with my own eyes.
Would someone mind explaining what is going on?
Yeah, Alize is Thingy's
Is
twin.
everything all right? I thought I heard Alize shouting.
You did.
Estinian! It's been too long.
Just started with the fact that you've got a twin. I love that armor set.
No, it's quite understandable. That was hardly the first time we've been confused for one another. Nor, I suspect, will it be the last.
Well, I, for one, will not be making that mistake again. What I will say, for the second time today, is that you've grown. Inside and out. I can tell.
One can't remain a spoiled little lordling forever, you know.
At least someone's having a good time. You know, when we were growing up, Alphino would never befriend other boys because he couldn't stand the thought of not being in charge. But maybe that's changed. He seems just as happy around Estinian as he does Arenvald.
Perhaps he has grown.
I wouldn't be so sure. He still loves nothing better than the sound of his own voice.
No rest for the righteous, eh? Speaking of which, I was just on my way to borrow an airship to take me to Azisla.
Azisla? How could I forget? The dragon with whom Bahamut shared the deepest of bonds.
His mate.
Aye, Tiamat, his mate. Even now she remains imprisoned on Azisla, though her remorse binds her faster than any shackle.
I see. As the one who first summoned Bahamut, you believe she may be able to shine some light on his latest incarnation.
Might I suggest that we make the journey to Azisla together? I'm not sure if Tataru mentioned this, but we Scions have an airship of our own now.
I see no reason why not. Assuming your sister can bear the thought of sharing a deck with me.
Be my guest. But confuse me with Alphino again and I'll throw you overboard. Ugh! I don't know who he thinks he is, but he's nothing like Alphino painted him to be.
Ah, he's a bro.
I will admit, he is not exactly as I imagined him either. Based on what I had read of the man, I think I was expecting someone a little less blunt?
That's what you don't get from the history books. It's how people actually act. Ooh, okay, let's get teleport. It's been quite some time since I last set foot in Azizlar, but I understand the three of you were here rather more recently. I don't suppose you chanced to meet with Tiamat during your visit? Alas not. We had no cause to set foot here in the Delta Quadrant, but I have studied the relevant records, which is not to say I wouldn't appreciate a first-hand account of your dealings with her. Well then, Zachariah, as the person to ask, as far as I know, he's the only one of us to have met Tiamat face to face. Let's just say it helped that Midgardson was there to introduce me. Ah yes, you were a friend of her father. I too have met with Tiamat. After the Dragon Song War came to a close, I came here to speak with her, a worm who had fought her own war against man in another age. I wished to know if she'd yet harboured thoughts of vengeance and asked as much. She said no. My hatred for your kind was extinguished long ago. But the guilt she feels for resurrecting Bahamut burns undimmed. It torments her even now. I see. Then your original reason for coming here out of concern that Tiamat has been forced to summon Bahamut. Nidhogg is a part of me. I feel his emotions as my own, and I know that he would not allow his sister to be made a tool of evil. In his absence, it falls on me to watch over her. Oh, that's nice. Gideon is ready to lead the way to Tiamat. Tiamat waits. This way. There she is. Hello. I feel like we should have freed you by now. That's why I hate so many people coming to damn destination. Sire's mortal companion, what bringeth thee back to this forsaken place, child of man?
It's plain she knows naught of recent events. Perhaps you should enlighten her.
Alright. There's a lunar Bahamut, so we're wondering what you might know. I see. Let my singe be removed. Sense not the faintest stirring. As to who could have called him forth, I know none save the dragons of Mericidia, our children. I've unclaimed their souls when first he manifested, and robbed of their will, they became tools for Allegan's dark design.
I've seen it with my own eyes.
captives of a lost empire, neither alive nor dead, existing only to preserve Bahamut's corporeal form.
Yes. Be no other explanation.
Your children's pain means nothing to them. They laugh at your kind suffering. But tears will not right this wrong, nor will lamentation see the perpetrators punished.
Free yourself.
Behavior befitting a great worm.
Yes.
We came here to ask mighty Tiamat of the First Brood, consort of Bahamut, mother of the dragons of Mericidia, what she intends to do about the crimes committed against her children.
Yes. Yes. Do it. Do it.
You two were exposed to his influence. That you are yet in possession of your own will is testament to the indomitable strength of your soul.
That's true.
But were you to meet with Bahamut again, you fear you might succumb.
And I'd be bored, just trapped in chains for all eternity. God damn. Can we break you out? So you can recover your strength and, you know.
On the matter of Bahamut's influence, at least, I believe we can be of some assistance. If you're afraid of being enthralled, don't be. We have a cure. And...
There is no future for those bound to the past. That you committed a terrible sin, I do not dispute. But if you feel remorse, you may yet make amends. We offer you that chance. Take it, or you will forever remain a prisoner. Not of these cruel shackles, but of your own guilt.
Shackled by your own guilt. Mother of Dragons. wanted. While Poxies have been shown to be effective in curing the tempered, Tiamat must be considered a special case. She is far, far larger and immeasurably more powerful than any subject-treated thus far. Were we to remove the restraints only to find their process has failed, we'd be hard-pressed to contain them. Then, before going ahead, we should learn as much as we can about the exact nature of her condition. Do you suppose we can find the information here? Why, yes, I can. Why, yes, we can. We can indeed. Allegan kept detailed records on all their notable captives, and I know exactly where to look. We shall leave that to you. Then, in the meantime, the rest of us can learn our thoughts, can turn our thoughts to the removal of these shackles. I know Alvino and Sakurai are here well enough, but not you. Are you certain you are ready to see this through? Rest assured, Sir Stinian, that I am both ready and willing to give my all for the sake of this star, though that is not my only reason for wanting to set Tiamat free. While I do not claim to know all of her sorrows, I too once found myself in the prison of despair, and well understand how hard it can be to dare to dream of escape. It took the encouragement of braver souls than I to make me take the first step towards a brighter future, and now I would help Tiamat do the same. I gather you're not as young as you look. Mayhap when our work here is done, we can trade tales over a pot of Tatari's famous tea, and be indebted to her for the leaves of hot water? I think not. I see. Returning swiftly to the task at hand, then. I believe the nodes governing Tiamat's restraints are located in the sector known as the flagship. Ah yes, we are familiar with it, the Aetherochemical Research Facility in particular. Run that dungeon enough times. Oh, and you may wish to take this, a spirit vessel containing a small amount of my blood. Which you happen to be carrying around with you. I suppose that would seem rather odd. To explain, Rambros, Urianger, and I are researching the use of spirit vessels for the transference not only of memories, but the traits of certain bloodlines. And so, to keep one at the ready should an opportunity to test our theories arise. As for its use to you, you may recall that during our previous visit, the nodes here granted access to restricted functions, having identified me as being of royal blood. Armed with the spirit vessel, I posit that they will do the same for you, even in the absence of, well, the rest of you. It seems worth a try, at least. Agreed. We should take good care of it. To the flagship, then. Let us split up and search the flagship for the nodes that control Tiamat's restraints. But should you find a likely candidate, do not be tempted to make any adjustments. It would not do to accidentally release some manner of experimental monstrosity, nor less Tiamat herself in her current state. Our objective at this stage is simply to identify the relevant node or nodes. Once we have learned what we can, we shall reconvene and compare notes prior to proceeding. of step course news. Per data link with Delta Quadrant broken, possible cause, intruder interference, advised deployment of automated combat units, proceed. No, not this one. I'm gonna guess it's this one being crowded by people. Glamorous. Bleep bloop. Warning. Scheduled dragon restraint maintenance due in minus 2020 units. Failure to verify system integrity result in unscheduled specimen release. Is there another one? Okay. Okay. Malodorous node. Friction between metallic components detected. Temperature increasing to critical levels. Please repair damaged parts or retreat to a safe distance. Alright. Big ass creature. Alright. I'm afraid Astinian and I have little to show for our efforts. Did you find anything? Yeah. Yes, chirruping node which spontaneously warned me about neglecting the dragon restraints. Spontaneously, you say? Well, that does sound promising. Almost suspiciously so, in fact. But then you were in possession of the spirit vessel. I dare say it's interesting, the node of which Graha spoke. And it was chirruping, you said. Very well, let's take a closer look. There it is. Beep. Do you wish to operate the dragon restraint mechanisms? No. Beep, boop. You do not have the requisite access privileges. Operation of the dragon restraint mechanisms may only be undertaken by the chief technologist and members of the royal family. Or those with a vessel full of royal blood, perhaps. New user detected, commencing biometric authentication. Bloop. Authentication complete. User identified as member of the royal family. Please state your name. Zachariah Sunstrider. Bloop. Welcome, Zachariah Sunstrider. You may operate the dragon restraint mechanisms when ready. Bloop, bloop. Error. Unable to disengage restraints of the specimen. Tiamat. A system update is required. System update? What do you suppose it's asking of us? I could hazard a guess. Well, that's more than I can say. Confounded bloody thing. User agitation detected. Initiating guidance program. Bloop. In order to operate the restraint mechanism, I require access to central control system. However, I am unable to establish a link to said system due to the obsolescence of my own software. The issue can be resolved by applying a system update using a corresponding terminal located within the flagship. So, can this thing release the restraints or not? It can, but only once it's received the requisite system update, as far as I can tell. Until which time it'll float there spewing nonsense. User dissatisfaction detected. Initiating placation protocols. Bloop. I'm here to help. Rest assured, I will be on hand to guide you through every step of the system update process. How gratifying, but I dare say we'll fare better with guidance than without it. like Clippy. I see you're trying to do a system update. The restrained node stands poised to lend a hand, figuratively speaking. Bloop. Learning user to terminal. Please. Ah, there we go. Access granted. User Sakura Sunstrider. Adolescent elegant is Master Sunstrider's other companion being a potential risk to safe operation. Denied access privileges until further notice. Let's see. According to the terminal, the central control system is presently employing software version 56.135. Dare I ask which version you are employing? My software version 4.2.002. Warning, error detected in the data management system. Estimated time required for update 5 years and a day. This is rather longer than we were hoping. Are there any other options? For instance, using this terminal to operate TMS restraint instead. The process method is indeed an option. These people, however, procedure may have changed as a result of the system update, and my instructions may no longer be required. Well, I can't imagine it would have changed that much as long as we paid due attention to any discrepancies. I dare say we should be able to muddle our way through. Don't bother trying to explain. Tell me if we made any progress. I would say so, yes. It does, however, require that I remain here to operate the terminal. I shall inform you via link trail once ready to start. Might be best if you left the spirit vessel with me. I may yet have use for it. Rest assured, I will be certain to return it to Gratitude once this is over. Just a little more work and Tiamat will be free. But before we go any further, there's something I would know. When Tiamat and her kin fought against the Elegant Empire, both sides were but dancing to the tune of Asien. And it was the same in Ishgard, where they stoked the fires of conflict between man and dragon from the shadow. All that the Asien touch turned to ash, and thus have you made it your mission to fight them. But there have been times when you tried to reach out to them instead, find common ground. And so I might ask, what do you intend to do with Fandaniel? Will you try and reach out to him too? I will try, yes. And if that fails, I'll remember. I see little point in reasoning with Wretch, or remembering him for that matter. But perhaps that's the difference between you and I. You see the good in people, even if it be but the faintest glimmer. I only hope you do not come to rue your benevolence. Think us unwise for viewing the world thus? Far from it. This has ever been your way, as I learned when we journeyed together with Icehearts. Yet the fact remains that there are some who view compassion as a weakness to be exploited, and there may come a time when you extend the hand of friendship only to wish that you had dealt the killing blow. So save your mercy for those who deserve it. Well, we should get back to our task. If Alphinaud has things in hand here, I suggest we rejoin the others. Fight! Oh, I love this track. It's part of the reason why this mount is one of my favourites. It's just this slapping track. There she is. Hello. Red one's great. Stinian told me all is well, but nothing more. Honestly, it's like getting blood out of a stone with him. I take it from Alphinaud's absence that he's needed elsewhere. Indeed. He's gonna fiddle about with the controls. Well, that all sounds rather frustrating. You got there in the end. While you were off talking to Nate, Graha and I were learning as much as we could about Tiamat's conditions. Well, you know, just leave the stream on and mute it. That way I can still get your view. It probably helps if you've played up to this patch, but yeah. Well, yeah. Our readings confirm that her ethereal balance leans strongly towards Umbral, as was the case with the kobolds. Therefore, all things being equal, the treatment should work. Oh, hey, Aditya. How's it going? You doing well? The difficulty lies in the sheer quantity of the aether with which we must contend. Multiple applications of the treatment will inevitably be required if we're to reverse the effects of the tempering completely. Sounds good to me. Game. Yeah, I mean, like, it helps if you know the story thus far, Aditya. Because even though this is an MMO, the main story, a lot of it is solo with like interspersed dungeons and like raids that do require other people. But primarily, like, the main story is a solo story. And like, if you just joined at me playing this patch, you're gonna be so fucking confused because like this game has had like 3 or 4 different expansions. And this is the very last patch for the latest expansion, so like there's going to be another expansion like in the coming, I think probably before the year end. Meaning I'll need all the aether I can get. Thank you in advance. Although this endeavour will ask much of us, we do have one reason to be optimistic. Namely that Tiamat shows no signs of fanatical devotion, suggesting a milder case of tempering than suffered by the kobolds. Well, that's why he's muting anyway. Yeah, it's great, because, like, you get to choose what class you are, and those classes have, like, different abilities and things like that. Mine's actually a bard, though I've dressed him up more as an archer. And he is basically... Yeah, you're like 2-3 expansions behind. You were in the first expansion, right, Hot Wheels? Tiamat saw Bahamut as an equal rather than a god. Might that have made a difference? Now that you mention it, it very well might. She would not have believed it necessary to defer to his will. But enough talk. It's time to put our theories to the proof. Tell Alphinaud to disengage the restraints, ethereal dampness. Yes, so that's the first expansion. It's a pretty good one. And this area is actually part of the areas that you go to in that first expansion. I'm counting on you, Angelo. Such warmth. The frost that shouldereth my soul doth begun to fall. Thought, but what are these? Visions of days long forgotten, war with men of Alec. Wherefore do such baleful memories return to me now? Could it be that the process of restoring her soul to its pre-tempered state is awakening ancient memories? Or might the opposite be true? If so, by helping her to recall the past, we may be able to speed her recovery. Zechariah, she trusts you. Speak to her. Ask her to tell you of times past. Tell me of Bahamut and the Ascians. Ah, Bahamut, my beloved. Would that the peace we found in Mericidia could have lasted for eternity, but alas, it was not to be. The Ascians saw to that. In all creation I know of none more wicked. It was at their behest that the men of Alec first came unto Mericidia, unto our home. The tale began when Bahamut and I left our father's side. We took wing in search of a place to make our eyrie. Beyond the southern ocean, we discovered a lush and fertile land. It would come to be known as Mericidia by the children of men, though many years were to pass before they crossed the sea. Upon our arrival, we were welcomed by the peaceful people of the forest, kin to the trees. Surrounded by nature's bounty, Bahamut and I had found a place to raise our young. Fascinating. This correlates with the writing of the Charlayan scholars Rusha. She posits that man first settled on the southern continent towards the end of the Second Astral Era. Correctly, if it would appear. If only she were with us to hear the tale from Tiamat herself. Again, Angelo. When first the children of man arrived on our shores, no foot did they set in those places over which we held dominion. Such was their fear of dragonkind, and as they kept their distance, so did we let them be. Yet, as the days went by, ship after ship appeared upon the horizon, bearing ever more of their brethren, who divided the vast lands amongst themselves. For a time they knew peace and prosperity, but as their numbers grew, the smaller their share came to seem, and soon they began to covet the territory of their fellows. Ere long, man fought man, blood was answered with blood, and none could see the end of strife, until one day they came to us. Recognizing our wisdom, they entreated us to intercede in their conflict. Bahamut agreed, and with him presiding over the affairs of man, the land knew peace once more. Alas, those golden days of harmonies too were fated to end, for the men of Alec slew my beloved and I, in a rage, slew my beloved, and I, in my rage and sorrow, heeded the envenomed words of the Ascians. The rest thou knowest only too well. But your tale doesn't have to end there. When you are free, we'll rid the world of the Ascians together, and you and your beloved will have justice. Fine sentiments, but you're almost spent. I'll keep watch from above. If the treatment fails, run. Ugh, thanks for the vote of confidence. I swear, when this is over... Keep going, Alize. The magic is working. Well, I knew this wasn't going to be easy. No patient could have prepared me for treating a great worm. But we're close. I can feel it. And while I've only got a few more drops of Aether left to give, with yours and Gruha's, this will work. then I believe I speak for both of us when I say that you may take as much as you require. Careful, I might hold you to that. Alright, here I go.
No. I'm almost there. This is it, Angelo. Did it work?
We won't know for certain until the shackles are removed.
Well, at least we have a Dragon Slayer, if that's the case. If it fails, anyway. Alright, do it. Release her.
Many have been subjected to the Allagan's dark arts, their flesh irrevocably altered. For such tortured souls, I fear there can be no salvation.
When that time comes, you won't be alone. We'll stand by you.
Alphino's ready. It's time. Do it. And let's hope the treatment worked as it should.
This is exciting. Because A, dragons are cool, and B, having a powerful ally is also cool. Imagine it must feel nice to stretch her wings.
By the gods!
That is cool. If only Nidhogg was still around.
Urianger, your timing could not be better. Understood, we're on our way. It's Bahamut. He's been sighted over Pagalthan. He flies for the largest Amalja settlement in the region, at the head of a vast host, including dragons.
Ooh, you're gonna get a clash.
Did you hear all that, Alphino? You'd best rejoin your comrades. I'll make my own way. Our enemy awaits. Shall we?
Nice. Rather than Dragon Slayers, or Dragon Rider now. Fucking rad. While I'm sure you're desperate to join Estinian and Tiamat in battle, it would be rising together the full strength of the Scions first. The face we face demands no less. With Luna Bahamut bound for Pegathon. Yeah, right? Tell me about it. With Luna Bahamut bound for Pegathon, Grahatia is determined to call upon the aid of fellow Scions. Like, riding some creature that big would be nuts. I have already sent word to the others. We are to rendezvous in Ulda at Hall of Flame. Let us collect Alphino and be on our way. Ah, that's so cool. Now that I know some of you could do with the rest, but I'm sorry to say, Leperai has other plans. Pegathon is already under siege. Happily, the Immortal Flames arrived just in time to join the defensive effort, with Marshal Turupin at their head. Well, now, given the failure of peace negotiations, I was uncertain how the Sultanite would respond. It is good to hear that Ulda has not abandoned the Amalja. Abandoned them? We not profess to be their friends? They're so cute. Your Grace. Marshal Tarupin has made provisions for such an exigency and was ready to depart at a moment's notice. All that was required was the agreement of the Syndicate, each of whom voted in favour of intervention. Nor is Ulda alone in this resolve. The other Alliance nations have likewise dispatched their troops to Pegathon. Yet even with our combined strength, we shall be sorely tested when we face not only the might of the Imperial Legion, but Luna Bahamut and his draconic horde besides. Tiamat's children. Fight as we may, victory is by no means assured, but not all of the omens are grim. Our forces report that, despite their proximity to Luna Bahamut, none of the Amalja shows any sign of tempering. Strange. What primal would turn down a chance to claim new Thrall? Unless they're Thrall to Ifrit. Unless it's incapable of doing so. Primals are not wont to serve a master, Ascian or otherwise. It may well be that Luna Bahamut differs in some fundamental manner from which we have previously encountered. If that were true, anyone could fight him, and Zachariah and others like him won't have to shoulder the burden alone. Be that as it may, Luna Bahamut remains an incalculably powerful foe whom our soldiers will struggle to best through mere force of arms. With the aid of the Scions, however, I believe they will fare rather better, assuming, that is, you're ready to take the field. An airship awaits to bear you to the front. Pray set forth as soon as you are able. I, meanwhile, shall continue to coordinate our forces. Till next we meet, may the 12 bless and keep you. It was kind of her to speak to us personally. You may be certain she has no shortage of other responsibilities. Well, I for one am inclined to do as her Grace requests, lest we forget, Onvold and Fordola and Pegathon on reconnaissance. The sooner we save the day, the better their chances are. Indeed, to the airship. Oops, wrong one. Airship landing. There you are. Greetings, we've been expecting you. But say the word and we shall depart for Pegathon at once. Oh, cool. Alright, not raid. Should be interesting. I haven't been in a dungeon for quite a while. This my paladin. Warrior. Madurk. Where is it? There we go. This should be a new experience. not going to need anything.
What took you so long? The Emotes are in trouble. Let's split up. Oh, no, you don't.
looking bigger. Hey. Yeah. Thank you, tanky boy. I don't know, did I get anything? We are set free, and free we shall remain, as long as I draw breath. Never again shall the dragons of Mericidia hearken to the lies of Ashes. This I vow.
Noble warriors, the dragons chose their friends well.
Archer? Hey.
Long have our peoples waged war, but no more. Your fallen lie beside our own. By our words and deeds shall we honor their sacrifice.
Be proud to call you allies.
The enemy of our enemy is our friend. And you have proven yourselves worthy of our trust. It is the Garleans who are deserving of our fury. I shall see that my brethren learn the truth of this day, and rally as many as possible to the cause, till we meet again.
Give me a good Amalja in one of the caster storylines.
And thus did we make allies of the Amalja.
Indeed.
It would certainly seem that way. The Sultana will be pleased. Let's go and give her the good news, shall we?
Sometime earlier, inside the Pebble Thorn Tower. Don't die. What is that? An Amalja? Yeah, it is. I guess that's how they might be controlling them. Wow. The one for each race? And that sounds gross.
What in Ralga's name happened here?
The gods only know. But you can bet these poor sods aren't here by choice.
They doing like racial tempering?
Quickly! We've got to get them free!
Oh, wait.
No. What have I done?
What have you
Too
done?
late for them. We're leaving.
Is that going to be a primal? I figured.
No.
Different.
No!
No!
Don't you dare! We came together and we're leaving together.
You have a shield, mate. Use it. Right. While it would be too much to hope that we see last of Vandaniel, we have at least dealt with a scheme at telling Blow this day, and that alone is cause to celebrate. And celebrate I will, when we have received word of Arnvald's sacred. Someone's optimistic. I probably want crit hit. You may now enter with a party of NPC avatars. I don't really use trust. Afner is minded to share his account of the events that unfolded in Pagathon with the Sultan. Standing around here worrying is not going to help matters. We must discuss the day's events with Pippin and her grace. Brave Scions. Would that I could treat you to a hero's welcome, but I bear urgent news from the Frontistery. Your grace, what is the matter? As our troops withdrew from Pagathon, they came across 2 scouts sent to the nearby tower. I've yet to hear the full count, but it seems that one of them, your friend I believe, has been wounded and was being dragged away by the other. Uh-oh. Oh no. I must go. Forgive me, your grace. Who was dragging who, though? Can you tell us all of Arnvald's condition, your grace? The wounded scout? How'd you know it was... She didn't say who was who. Not safe that it's grave. The Chugurgians tend to him even as we speak. The infirmary must be inundated with the wounded. If all of us go, we'll only get underfoot. Zachariah, Estinian, would you mind going after Albino? He may need some support from someone other than me. Alright. Very well. Thank you. The rest of us will see the relevant people know that what took place in Pagathon. Come then. Right, so what was it that I had? That one, so extract. Yeah. Extract. Cool. Nice. skill. What a crowd of people are. Another one comes to see the lad in silver armor. Master Demeliot is attending to him as we speak. If you'd be so kind as to wait. What did Master Demeliot have to say? Tell me his exact words. Enough, Alphinae. This isn't helping. But you're right. Forgive me. When we said our farewells to Arnvald, I was afraid that something like this might happen. Now that it has, all we can do is wait.
Fordola, have you been waiting here all this time?
That's a yes.
We have done what we can. The rest is up to him.
That voice doesn't seem to match that character.
May we see him?
I do not think that wise. You must let him sleep.
Thank you for bringing him back. He owes you his life. I just wish I had been there. Perhaps, I don't know, perhaps I could have...
Could have what? Got tempered? Don't flatter yourself. You can't save everyone. No one can. Not even the warrior of bloody light.
It's true.
People die all the time, for no good reason. And those who take up the sword die quicker than most.
That is also true.
If you're going to shed a tear every time a soldier falls on the battlefield, you'd best stay away. It's no place for the weak of heart.
It may be that victory cannot be won without cost. But all life is precious, and I refuse to shrug at its loss.
All life is precious! You need to grow up, little man. Before your sparkling ideals get everyone killed.
You're right. He is idealistic. But the world has more than its fair share of realists, like you and me. It's people like him who dare to dream that things could be better, and make it happen against all the odds. They are the ones whose names live on forever. The heroes.
The battlefield's littered with would-be heroes. At this rate, you'll lot be next. And what'll become of your precious dreams then? They'll be gone. Like dust on the wind.
She's trying to wrap her
Dreams
head
worth
around the
fighting
rest
for
of the
don't die so easily.
Yeah. Others will take up the mantle if it's a noble enough proposition. know. There's nothing more I can do here. Come, let's rejoin the others. Ahem. Her Grace invites the Scions of the Seventh Dawn to join her in the Fragrant Chamber. Your comrades have already arrived. Will the three of you be joining them? We will. The knowing nod.
Your Grace, pray forgive us our lateness.
Think not of that. I understand a close comrade of yours was wounded in the line of duty. Arenvold. It was at the Alliance's behest that he risked all, and we are grieved to hear of his condition. Rest assured, he will receive the finest care our chirurgeons can provide. On that you have my word. Now, we would share with you the findings of the mission. Pippin, pray relate to our guests the details of Fordola's account.
Found a chamber with Amalja, who summoned an Ifrit.
First Bahamut, now Ifrit. Or Lunar Ifrit, as Fandaniel would doubtless have it.
'Tis now all but certain that the towers were conceived to facilitate the summoning of primals by those imprisoned within.
Seems like... likely.
Less certain is the means by which the Telophoroi constrain the wills of said entities to enact their designs in defiance of the pleas of their victims.
Mayhap they do not. If mere proximity to the towers is enough to make loyal servants of the Empire's mortal enemies, it stands to reason that the same is true for those held captive. They invoke their gods for the good of Garlemald, and in their disturbed state of mind, summon a primal whose form reflects their own alteration.
It all begins to make sense. Upon closer inspection, I realized that the towers bear a striking resemblance to a much larger structure which Urianger and I observed from afar during our visit to the Imperial capital.
The palace?
Assuming it too is capable of tempering those in its immediate vicinity, it would go some way to explain the swiftness with which the Telophoroi managed to rally so many Imperials to their cause.
While the situation in Garlemald is indeed troubling, I fear we have more immediate concerns. Ifrit was not the only primal summoned. At approximately the same time, observers at several other towers bore witness to the emergence of further such entities. For a blessing, none appear to wield aught approaching the destructive power of Bahamut, and the Grand Companies are moving to deal with the threat even as we speak.
The Grand Companies, Your Grace. Is that wise?
Though we are aware that the task will not be easy, we would call upon the Scions only as a last resort. Pray, conserve your strength for now. After all, it was not so very long ago that you rid us of Bahamut. On which note, I am pleased to report that our talks with the Amalja have reached an agreeable conclusion. They have pledged their full support to our cause. It is our hope that this historic agreement will encourage other tribes to join us at the negotiating table. And I know that I speak for all of the Allied leaders when I say that we will welcome them with open arms at such time as they do. Of course, this was only made possible by the feats of heroism performed at Paglfan. Moreover, We shall not allow the sacrifices of those fallen in battle to have been made in vain. As hope leads to victory, shall victory lead to a new dawn for Eorzea.
May these words ever be our guide, Your Grace.
Now, if you will forgive me, I must consult with the Syndicate on the matter of our new allies' integration. Till next we meet, my friends, I bid you safe travels and blessed respite.
Right then, unless anyone has any objections, I think it's about time we return to the Rising Stones. And that includes you, Alphino. Arnvald's in good hands here. Of course, he would doubtless mock me for the pacing about the infirmary. Let us retire then, that we might regain our strength and readiness for the coming challenges. If all are in agreement, then I shall let Krill know to expect us. A hot bath and a hearty meal shouldn't be beyond arranging with the time available. It will be good to be home. I have some thinking. As optimism, no doubt. Yes, I'll try asking him. And thank you. I shall look forward to it. Our comrades eagerly await our return, and Krill in particular has a few matters she's keen to discuss, one of which concerns you, Estinian. Believe it or not, you will join us, won't you? Fine. Really? I thought you said you were avoiding the Baldessian woman. If I refused, she would only pursue me. Let's get this over with, shall we? More donuts.
Welcome back. I expect you must all be exhausted. Ere you take your rest, however, I would beg a moment of your time. Thanks to Arenvold's selfless efforts, we may now be confident that we understand the function of the towers. But many questions remain regarding the reason for the summonings, and what lurks behind the looming edifice in Garlemald. Until such questions are answered, we will struggle to devise an effective strategy for thwarting the Telophoroi's stated aim. Nothing less than the destruction of this star. And so, given the gravity of the situation, I move that we petition the aid of Sharlayan.
So she's actually a really respected scholar. The scholars of Sharlayan are basically the knowledge keepers of the world.
It is possible the ancient knowledge preserved within our archives may hide a clue to our enemy's methods. But given Sharlayan's established policy of non-intervention, our former colleagues are not like to aid us in its discovery.
Oh, I well remember what they're like. The Forum's barefaced refusal to assist you in the days prior to the calamity must rank as Sharlayan's most shameful act since the Exodus. But were the final days to be reenacted, it would spell doom for us all. Surely even they cannot turn a blind eye to that. I trust we are all of the same mind on this matter. Urgent as it seemed, I took the liberty of petitioning the Alliance for leave to act as Eorzea's emissary, and have since received their blessing.
I presume your role as a student of Baldessian will carry some weight with the Forum?
One can but hope. If truth be told, our organization has been a shadow of its former self ever since the disappearance of the Isle of Val. But the name does still retain some degree of prestige. If there are no objections, I shall depart for Sharlayan at once. But before I do, I should also mention the other matter to which I would devote some time during my stay. After hearing what transpired in the first, I began to question the true nature of Hydaelyn's blessing. A topic I have discussed at some length with Y'shtola.
We were wondering, when was the last time Hydaelyn spoke to you directly?
Probably an expansion ago, maybe 2.
When Elidibus sought to make warriors of light. That was the voice which calls constantly to all who might hear it. I spoke of direct communication, when Hydaelyn communed solely with you. A far rarer occurrence.
History shows us that Hydaelyn is able to awaken the echo in her chosen, convey her will directly, and grant the blessing of light. To our knowledge, however, she has not sought to intervene in man's affairs for some considerable time.
Might not the explanation for that lie with her choice of champion? Mayhap she is content to trust in his judgment.
Mayhap she is. But following my initial discussion with Kryl, I made inquiries of my own. And as far as I am able to tell, Hydaelyn has not made her will known to anyone.
During my time in the First, the Oracle of Light spoke to me through Reen. But that was not the will of Hydaelyn. It was Minfilia herself.
Indeed. And while she and Hydaelyn were inextricably linked, Minfilia yet acted of her own volition. A messenger, yes, but one who spoke with her own voice.
I wonder, could Hydaelyn's silence suggest the presence of some disruptive force, perhaps? Some obstacle to communication? While I share Urianger's high opinion of your conduct, I see no reason why she would deny you her guidance altogether. Then again, who am I to say? The fact is, we simply don't know. But if the explanation is to be found anywhere, I can think of worse places to look than the archives of Sharlayan, and their research on the Ethereal Sea in particular. Resolved though I am to go, believe me when I say that I take no pleasure in the thought of leaving you a member short. Now of all times. Estinian, we stand on the eve of a struggle that will decide the fate of this star. One in which we Scions may play a telling part, yet we are but few in number.
Will you join us?
And so I must ask you again.
Figured.
Will you join us?
Look at those eyes.
You see the world
Seems
the way
unfair.
you want it to be. I see the world the way it is. You are idealistic to a fault. But I know you would never turn your back on those in need. Never close your eyes to their suffering. And somehow, your deeds lend truth to your words, giving the lie to my doubts in so doing. I have seen others draw strength from your belief. In Ishgard, in Alamigo, you inspired them to stand up and fight. To win, no less. And even when you lost those you held dear, you carried their spirit with you and made their memory your guiding light. The burden of so many hopes and dreams would be too heavy for most to bear. But you bear it willingly, as you have shown me. Some dreams are too important to let go. If you have need of my strength, it's yours. After all you've done, how could I refuse?
Yes, he's finally joined the team.
Thank you, Estinian.
It's like a tsundere.
Whatever challenges await us, I shall not falter. You have my word.
And now, I may bid you farewell. Safe in the knowledge that all is as it should be. In this little corner of the world, at least.
You will be sorely missed. Tread warily in Sharlayan, and do try not to let the Forum embroil you in their politics. A forlorn hope, I know, given the individuals involved.
I shall do my very best. Farewell.
They'll waddle. They're so cute. Hello. That's a lot of weapons. No bows though. None of mine.
Well, does this one meet with your approval? Apparently not. Or could it be that you're still upset about the dragons?
You are unwise to remind me of so costly a failure. It will not affect our plans, I trust.
Oh, hardly at all. Though, admittedly, the chances of us being able to procure any more Mericidian dragons are rather slimmer following Tiamat's reappearance. Oh, but the seeds have been sown, my lord. We have only to wait for them to quicken. Speaking of preparations, is it safe to assume that you will be ready to control you-know-what?
Wait, Voldemort's in this?
The hour draws nigh. This nation, forged for Ascian ends, will finally prove its worth.
A mighty empire, now no more than an instrument of this star's destruction. What a pleasure it will be to put it to use.
I recognize most of those weapons.
Which brings me back to our earlier topic. My lord, while I appreciate that it is not an easy decision, it really is past time you chose your weapon.
There is one that I have been meaning to test.
Or spine.
Well, well. Not quite what I was expecting. Though I will say, it does seem rather apt.
Father's sword? Excalibur? Oh, you tease. Come on. Alright. Well, it looks like I'm gonna have a busy few moons. Not that they ever seem to be anything but. Thancred's got me dispatching troops to every corner of the realm, which is not to say I don't trust the Alliance, because I do. When it comes to putting down primals, nobody does it better than us. Well, than you lot, more accurately. You won't catch me trading blows with a primal in the near future. But for every fiend you've vanquished, there's countless meals to arrange, baths to fill, sheets to wash, stores to replenish, and the list goes on. Which is where I come in, and gladly, mind you. It's the least I can do to support the scions who risk life and limb, like poor Arnwald. I wish there was something we could do for him, but we'll just have to wait. No. It wouldn't do to have him come back to complete shambles now, would it? That's enough of my rambling. Off you go and get some rest. If there are any developments, I promise you'll be first to know. Right, so now I'm going to do the next part of the near raids. That should be interesting. If it's quick, I might be able to finish up on that raid. But there's no guarantee that I'll be able to do the raid today. Maybe I'll do some like a Saturday stream or something. Site Chief still concerned about the twin. Lali, I may have been too optimistic, ho, Zachariah. The fact that the villagers are still nursing a grudge doesn't surprise me. Not that I haven't tried to make them think better of it, but why hasn't Annog come back and given them what for yet? It ain't like her to fret over what people think. Then there's Konnog. I was worried he'd go chasing after her again, which is why I'm even more worried that he's been shut up in the tunnels this whole time. Eve! We need to clear the rubble so we can start digging again, but the others won't stop bickering about whose job it is, not even when I threatened to boot them clear into the sea. I'll be right there. 2 boots are better than 1, I say. Looks like I have other business to take care of. Not that I was having much luck here. Can you check on Konnog on my stead? What with Annog gone and the villagers treating him like he's got the blight, he could do with a reminder that not everybody has abandoned him. And who's to say? Maybe one of your tales of adventures will cheer him up. But just the thing that I've forgotten the names of everyone involved. I'm sure whatever you come up with will be fine. Probably. And let me know how he's doing, right? Even if he doesn't want to talk to me, I want to have him. I want him to have the help he needs. That's all. But yeah. Konog, why are you sleeping on the floor? Konog is radiating an uncommon amount of heat. The many layers insulating his head probably aren't helping. I always thought that was Beard. Hey, wakey. What? That feeling like your head is full of fiery bees? That's a fever. No, I'm fine. Get to find No, you're not going anywhere. Look, you stay here. I'll get your chief to look after you and I'll find Anog. Jesus. Colusa. Basically hobbits. Got fever. Connor collapsed. We do need to do something about that fever. I think some of my wife's supply of remedies survived. I'll go and see. You keep an eye on Connor. Alright. Of course he left. God damn it. Wicked White, where'd he go? I knew you wanted to search for Anog, but how did he even make it out of here? Willpower and hubris? Damn it all. Let's go, quickly. Hey, 2B. XS? No. Who's there? You. Should ask around, find out if anyone saw him go past. Not that I expect they'd be too inclined to help. Still, any leads is better than none at all. I'll speak with miners, you talk to whoever else. No, I haven't seen Connor leave the village once. Finally realised he's no good to us and left, did he? But without him or Anog, who's gonna help? be held responsible for what happened. The collaborator here, for one. Listen, outsider, I'm sure you thought you were helping, but now we're doomed. Now Connaught's missing too. We're dropping dwarves like L from a leaky cask. Well, I hope you find them. The matter of culpability is still unsettled, and I'll never get the villagers to agree on what's what if the most guilty-looking party ups and vanishes. Man, they need to get their priorities straight. Guess who? A search for Connaught, you say? That can't be easy. Those twins aren't really the sort to stand still. Wish I could help, but I haven't seen anything out of the ordinary. Not more than usual at any rate. Certainly no fever-addled dwarves. Makes sense. Lali, I thought I'd never escape home. Who knew that questioning every minor comra would be so time-consuming? Hope you weren't waiting too long. Did you learn anything useful? Not aside from nobody saw anything. I wish I could say I was surprised. My lot has also had some difficulties focusing on the immediate issue. But one of them did see Connaught. It sounds like he was wandering in the direction of the crater again. We should search the area. Alright. What's that big wheel? Some kind of machine? Technology from another world. Well, that doesn't sound good, but I'm still more concerned about where Connaught might have gone. I have a bad and familiar feeling about this. I think he's inside, and he's probably not alone. Here we go again. The XIV chief is determined to find Connaught and come up. If you're ready to face whatever's in there, then let's get this over with. The longer we wait, the more I worry. If anything needs killing, I'll handle it myself. I'm coming with you. I'll leave the dangerous bits to you, but I can't stand and do nothing. Not anymore. I need to make sure he's safe. Please. Investigate the entrance to... I wish they did weapons for this near raid. Like high-tech bows and whatnot. That music is so good. Speaking of music, let's use that. Right. I hope I'm going the way I'm supposed to be going. If not, I guess I'll find out. Yeah. enter the alien ship? Right? See, this is, I'm pretty sure this is Nier Automata music. Like, it's nice, chill background music, right? Sorry for lagging behind. Had to keep reminding myself not to get distracted. To tell the truth, I'm starting to understand the intrigue. You said that this place you found Connacht before is through here? Like, the music in this game absolutely slaps. It's so good. And, like, literally all of the music in all of the expansions are amazing. Monarch! TP? Bunch of TPs? Oh. Does make sense, there's a lot of them here, though. Beings of this world, watch closely. I'm watching. Hey. What? There's no time. Destroy the sphere, quickly. Get out. Guess that's the new raid. That turned into a space elevator. Alright. We're too late. I feel I'm owed several explanations. I know you're confused, but there's no time. We must destroy that sphere. 2P's plans are already in motion, and this whole world will be consumed. We won't let it happen. We came to save the world, and now we have a debt to repay. We saved 9S after all. I've not played Ace Combat. Which part would have been the reference? There's still so much we haven't seen, right 2B? Focus on the mission. Right, leave it to us. It'll take everything we've got to stop them. I believe we can succeed, but we'll need your help. Be ready. Fine, but I'll get my explanation from you yet. Duly noted. I'm sorry, Chief. Can you look after Connor? You're sorry? Yes, of course. I'll carry him back and make sure he rests. You look after yourself, man, and tell me what all this is about later. Yeah, I've not played Ace Combat, so which part would have been the reference? We make for the tower. So the new raid should be interesting. I imagine it's probably boring to watch. But, you know, it's just like me pressing buttons really badly and dying. The Tower of Paradigm's Breach, now accessible. It's not going to finish in 15 minutes, but I'm going to do this raid because I want it. No, not that one. What? There we go. Hopefully it'll be really quick for me to actually find a group, simply because this is pretty much just came out. There you go. Alright, expect me to die quite a few times. Here's to hoping I do alright. Oh, if I could place bets, I would get people to bet their channel points. 2, 3, 5, 6, 4, 15. Come on, healers. Here, healers. Yes, there we go. There we go. Full party. The Tower at Paradigm's Breach. Cool. Wow, it's quite a beginning.
Thank you all for joining us today. It is our day to attend first time on the Tabino Andy as you will see that I can.
Ascend the Ego Collective. I ain't played that, so I don't know Space Elevators. Yeah, I mean, like, Space Elevators are theoretically a thing. It's just we don't have the materials to do it properly. Name of fun. Second death. Hey. Hey. I like the mask. $5.20. Jeez. Really should save it. Top-seat android's headband. Yeah, I'm just gonna finish this raid essentially. You can head off first if you want. I wouldn't blame you. Yeah, I wouldn't blame you if you head off. Well, you can go first, like I said. Hey, Red. That's you. Red's good. That was the right place. No idea what I was supposed to be doing there. Alright, it's still alive. Arms left. The healers. Law's order constant bow. That's the next step up again. Alright. Take it. Alright. Have a good night, Hot Wheels. That's not good. No, sounds sensible. I am running over, so I hope you sleep well. I'm pretty tired myself, so. doesn't. Fucking ready, man. Let me recover my health. Thank goodness. Ready barbs. Battle ready barbs. Scanning for style. Yeah, we need all of that. Need. Need. Obsolete cloak of aiming. Oh, that's so badass! God damn it. I shouldn't have fucking rolled that fucking mask. That's alright. God damn it. Right. Am I getting anything? That's the question. Yeah. Probably not getting anything else. No, don't think so. Alright, that went on about 45 minutes too late because of the raids. I guess I'll wait until this finishes and then say my byes. Can't let it keep open. Back me up here, 2B. Helping you from the other side. Oh no. Don't sacrifice yourself. Take care of it. How do you know you're going to be able to do anything? How's he able to do that? I don't get it. Like a dream. Alert. Unit 2B and 9S vital systems offline. Save data found in memory regions. Initiating playback. This is Yorha Unit 2B recording. We discovered that our enemies, the white-clothed androids, the tower, that colossal girl, came from that white orb. As did 9S and I. It's a gate between worlds, and its purpose is to destroy this one. As long as 9S and I are on this side, it can never be closed. We have to go. But we'll save the memories of our reunion and of that time we spent in this world with you. Some things are just too precious to lose. So thank you. Playback ended. Well, at least they have Connaught. Yeah, sure. I thought you'd gone to bed already. Right, I'm gonna stop here. Thank you for joining us for the first part of patch 5.5 for Final Fantasy 14. Chances are I might either do some more next week or during the weekend, just because I want to play the rest of the patch. Maybe I'll do like a grinding Saturdays or something moving forward, but we'll see how it goes. As usual, my Twitch is twitch.tv /Zach_Rainer. And my YouTube is youtube.com/ZachRainer. Yeah, I'm just about to end it here anyway. But yeah, tomorrow should be Resident Evil 4 with Starcreep, and Friday we'll see what happens. But yeah, thank you for joining me. I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.